Amy.
Hey, Jack.
I'm gay.
Oh my god, that is so funny. I'm also gay. I was going to tell you.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
And you're listening to Dating Straight. Hey, Amy.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Chloe.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Too Hot to Handle. Come on, Netflix.
What is
how's
up?
it going? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really manic at the minute. Even still, I just feel like my life's completely changed, to be honest with you.
I mean,
in it.
Yeah. Jack.
Sorry. Life is completely different. I mean, I feel like the world is a different place than it was when you were on Too Hot to Handle. Like, let's be honest. Like,
True.
You could not have expected the world to turn out this way. Now you were dating so many people, and now what?
Yeah, exactly. Now what? I'm a born-again virgin, guys.
Queen.
To be honest with you, like, I used to date all the time. I was on like 3 or 4 different dating apps. And now I'm just that busy. I'm like, I can't even be bothered to date, to be honest with you. I'm just like focusing on myself. But yeah, it's weird because I do feel like I am a more mature woman since the show.
Wow.
Yeah. It sounds like the premise of the show kind of worked for you because now you're focusing on yourself, like not on. Are you still on dating apps or not really?
No. I
Wow.
don't even look
So
through my
it
DMs.
literally worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So everything has changed.
Oh, I still love sex. I'm not gonna lie, I still love sex. But
You just said that you're a born again virgin.
yeah, I mean, I'd love to think to myself, I am a born again virgin. I don't have as much sex as that I did before. But yeah, I mean, I don't really catch feels anymore because I'm not dating guys. I don't want to date just yet because I know that I'm not ready. And the last thing I want to do is to lead someone on and to hurt myself and to hurt someone else if I'm not kind of prepared and ready for a settled down relationship.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, you are, dare I say, so young. And I mean, I'm young. Amy's medium
Old.
young.
I'm old.
But you are 21, right? Or
Yeah, 21. I was casted for the show and I just turned 20.
oh my God. Like, you don't,
Wow.
we don't need to settle down. I feel like you need to go on a show that's like sex.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Find one and I
Yeah,
will go on it.
Well, you were on it, dare I say.
Yeah.
Okay, should we get into our catch up for the week? Sorry.
Sure.
Okay, Jack, take it away.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if you can see or hear the echo that's coming from this room. I actually, last night at like 9 p.m., just got into my new home of New York City. Yeah,
Big deal.
big deal. Just moved from San Diego, so it's really empty. But it's awesome. I already have some little bugs in my room that I'm like having to deal with. You know, like the whole New York City vibe is completely there. But I'm really excited. I'm here for 4 months just to shake things up. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's obviously my big news. That's the biggest thing that's happened to me in 5 months.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I shot a YouTube video, which I've been editing. Chloe, I make YouTube videos, but I literally stopped like 3 months ago because this pandemic is painful. Does anyone feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the same in your end though than it is my end. Is it really strict in your country?
It should be way stricter. Is it strict where you are?
Not really. No.
Yeah. Well, is it like getting better?
Yeah.
Are you in where?
It is.
Where are you?
So I'm in Essex, so just outside of London, and you've got to wear a mask when you go into like a supermarket, but the pubs have opened again, some of the clubs have opened.
Oh my God.
So as long as you're social distancing, then it's fine, apparently.
Mhm.
So are people not really social distancing?
No, I mean, when you've had a few vodkas, it's kind of hard, especially when you haven't seen each other for like months and months and months. And then all of a sudden you bump into each other at a pub. You're like, oh my God, how are you? How have you been? Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's getting way, because I'm in LA and it's getting way, way worse. But then stuff's still opening. So I don't know what the deal is there. But
Yeah.
I think everyone's just over it.
Yeah.
You know?
Over it.
Which is bad because it's still happening.
Of course, yeah,
I don't know.
100% definitely. You need to take precautions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Chloe, your update, speaking of YouTube channel, we have gotten, we did a little snooping. Happy first video, love.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I was so nervous. Do you know what? I was planning to do YouTube for months and months and months, and I just couldn't pluck up the courage to actually film the YouTube video because I was like, well, what if they don't like it? Well, and what does my voice sound like? And like talking to yourself in the camera for like ages and then editing the video, it's just so nerve-wracking because you want to please everyone. And the anxiety did get to me. So first video up and running. Second and third video has already been recorded. So
Oh my
Yeah. You're ahead of schedule.
So I'm like, bam, bam, bam. I'm just firing all the YouTube videos out now. So you've got to go follow me on and subscribe on YouTube because there's some amazing content coming.
Thank you so much, DIPSEA, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
Listen, baby, things have changed. We are all different people than we were 6 months ago. And sometimes when things are different, it's hard to check in with yourself. But we're here to say it's time and let DIPSEA help you get in touch with yourself.
Totally. DIPSEA is an audio-only app full of short, sexy stories designed to get you turned on and to get in touch with yourself. Because as you said, it's so easy to forget these days.
Yeah.
The app, it like has something for everyone. It's very inclusive, immersive stories, and they upload new content every week as well. So there's always going to be something new for you to explore.
Absolutely. For instance, I have kind of the hots for firefighters and lifeguards. So I don't know about you, but if there's some like profession that you're into, they've got it. The wellness sessions also can help you unlock new confidence and heighten intimacy, not just with yourself, but with your partner. So, you know, let's change things up in the bedroom.
Yeah, let's let your freak flag fly.
And as Amy said, they add new content every week so that it never gets old. You never get bored. So spice things up today with DIPSEA. And you guys love DIPSEA and we love DIPSEA because DIPSEA is offering a 30-day completely free trial for listeners of our show by going to dipseastories.com/straight. That's a 30-day free trial when you go to DIPSEA, DIPSEA, stories.com/straight. That is dipseastories.com/straight.
No reason not to try it. It's free, baby. Thanks, DIPSEA. Well, okay. So that anxiety about like wanting to please everyone, that'll never go away. So just try and ignore it.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. I did.
Really? Because I don't know if that was nice. No. It's like you're gonna be anxious forever. So yeah. I think that you just need to know that like you're not gonna please everyone. You're gonna have people who, you know, don't like what you do anyway. So you just have to please yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Queen.
Yes.
Amen.
Have you had like have you had any backlash from Too Hot to Handle at all?
To be honest, the first ever comment that I got was about 2 weeks after the show aired. And it was, I quote, "You are the most annoying person I've ever seen on TV." And do you know what? I love it. I'm just like, Good. Good.
I feel like
What?
that also can't be true. Like that literally cannot be. Have we ever looked at TV before?
Oh, thank you.
But how? So you just love the attention, good or bad. Any press is good press. Like what's the
To be honest,
deal?
you can chuck loads of hate at me, and yeah, of course, if I get too much of it, it will get to me. I'm only human. But my mum's always said to me, just focus on your life, just focus on you, focus on your family, and just kind of block everything else out that isn't positive, because it will bring you down. And I haven't got to where I am now with listening to loads of negativity. I am literally positive, positive, positive. So yeah, I'll take her advice and just block out all the hate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I just like literally block people. So that's my advice. How much has your life changed? Like what were you doing before this show?
So I was a model. I modelled for an agency back in London. I was travelling to South Korea. I was also waitressing part-time at a restaurant. And literally just before the show come out, I was a full-time waitress. So I dropped the modelling, and I knew that the show was going to be coming out, and I didn't kind of know what effect it was going to have on me or my life. So I thought, well, I don't want to quit my job just in case. But yeah, it's changed a lot. I don't work at the restaurant anymore.
That is so cool. So like you had no idea what this show was gonna necessarily do for you.
The producer said to me, it can go one of two ways. Everyone will love it, or it won't do that well, and it will just kind of like fizzle out into the background. So I thought the worst. I was like, right, if I prepare myself for the worst, then nothing can faze me. It won't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, 1 million followers in a week. And
Oh my god.
Wow, really?
yeah, and then it went up and up and up, and it stopped at 1.6, and I was just like, whoa. My anxiety levels are now like through the roof.
Yeah, how do you like deal with that? Getting 1 million people looking at you in 1 week? That's intimidating.
Yeah, I was just like, why? I was like, why do people want to see me? But yeah, I mean, it was such a massive confidence boost, because I've struggled with confidence issues, and my insecurities always get the better of me. And now I will go to the shop without makeup on, because I know that looks aren't everything. Like, my personality stood out on that show, and that's what everyone fell in love with. So for me, I don't need to look 10 out of 10 with my makeup and my clothes. I'm just like, do you know what? Like, I'm Chloe, I'm me. And I would give that advice to anyone. Just be you, and screw what anyone else thinks.
Amen, sister.
Yeah,
Yes, queen.
seriously.
Actually, we were talking, Amy and I, before this about how like it seems like this Netflix show, as well as like Love is Blind and The Circle, like all of these Netflix shows that are kind of about like social distance dating or socially distant, interaction. Like, how did they have all of that ready for the pandemic? Did Netflix start the pandemic? It's my conspiracy. But it's funny that happened, and I feel like that's why everyone can relate to that show so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Netflix kind of worked around that, to be honest, especially with like all the press and everything going on. I obviously didn't know it was going to come out in a global pandemic. I was expected to be travelling here, there and everywhere, doing appearances and all the rest. And I was in my sitting room on Zoom. Yeah, 24 hours a day, Zooming it. So you just got to embrace it, to be honest.
But do you think that it was honestly like the show was made bigger because of the pandemic? Because I was watching you guys like not be able to bone or whatever. And I was like, that is so me. Like, you can't. It's just so relatable. And then also everyone was just on their TV all day, like watching Netflix anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it definitely helped. To be honest, I seriously don't think that if a pandemic was happening at that time, the people that watched it probably wouldn't have thought twice about watching it. I mean, and because everyone was stuck indoors and we were all like going through the same mad experience, it was like we were all talking about coronavirus, and then it's like, oh, but have you seen Too Hot to Handle? And it was like an escape. Like, let's just forget about the pandemic for a minute and watch this new show that's coming out. Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber and like huge, like A-lister celebrities.
that's so
I've
cool.
seen the show, and it's just surreal. And I seriously know, I know for a fact they would not have watched that. They would be jetting around the world doing their tours instead of sitting indoors watching me on their screen.
Well,
What's been like the most wild celebrity encounter?
Ariana Grande followed me on Instagram. Yeah, she doesn't anymore.
Damn.
She doesn't anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
She followed me for like 2 months.
Ari.
And then apparently she started unfollowing loads of people on her Instagram, and I was one of them.
No.
Yeah.
That is really a shame.
Hey. It'd be like that.
I know.
Have you don't have to tell us who, but have any, celeb men slid into your DM?
Yeah, I mean, reality stars, not like A-listers, unfortunately.
Okay.
No. Actually,
Bachelor contestant.
couple of footballers. But I'm not really interested, to be honest. I'm just like, meh. I don't know. I don't really have the time or the energy to kind of be focusing on men, because if I'm talking to a guy, I'm like obsessed, calling him every 2 minutes of the day. And I just haven't got that time at the minute. So that will come though.
True. And like if you date someone in Los Angeles, like what are you even going to do about it? You know what I mean?
I'll fly over.
Like you can't trap.
But you can't. You can't. I'll swim.
Anything for your man.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. You sound like me. You sound very much like me. I get a little bit obsessed sometimes, but then maybe, what do you think about it though? Is that healthy because like we have so much love to give, or do you think it's better to like play a little hard to get like Amy does, because I don't know, you don't get your feelings hurt as often?
To be honest with me, I'll say it again and again and again. I am literally myself. I can't put a hold button on myself. I am literally Chloe's coming at you. And if you like it, that's good. If I feel like someone is being a little bit offish with me and he doesn't really like the full frontal Chloe, then I just know he's not the one and I just move on to the next. I'm like, next.
Damn.
Thank
That's
you, Nat.
amazing. I mean, how do you how? How do you just next someone
text
so
them.
easily?
Text them saying, I'm really sorry.
No, but like emotionally, like.
Well, I don't really ever kind of tend to get strongly emotionally connected to someone within the first couple of weeks. Within the first couple of weeks, I'm kind of figuring them out. I was in a really, really like bad relationship just after the show come out. No, not just after the show come out. Just after we finished filming for the show. So this was like over a year ago. And ever since then, I've been really, really careful. So I think that's kind of like put a switch on in my head that's like, you've got to be careful with who you date now, Chloe, because you cannot fall in love with someone.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Was it, no, it wasn't someone from the show. It was just someone that you just met?
Yeah, so it's someone that I knew before I went on the show. But when I come out, we kind of rekindled, and then it was just disasters after disasters. And now I'm like, no, I can cut anyone off now, because in my head I'm like, I am not falling for you in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, how has it been like dating before the show versus now? Because now you're like really famous. So how has that changed?
It's weird. Famous. Am I? Am I famous?
Yes.
Yeah, girl. If you're
Yes.
on Netflix and you're like a fan fave, I assume that you are famous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I am. It's just weird. I used to work in a chip shop. I have been a waitress practically my whole life. So when people are like, "Oh, you're famous, can I have a photo with you?" I'm like, "Why? Why do you want a photo with me?" I absolutely love it. And I will only ever use my platform for pretty dresses and makeup and positivity and women empowerment. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever change, to be honest.
Okay.
But has like the male attention become different?
Yeah, weirdly. But that's an off-put, I think. I think that's why I've been so careful with dating after the show, because I know that some guys are like, she's got 1.6 million followers. She's obviously got money and she's like now famous. I will get lad points if I can slide into her DMs and bone her. And it's like, that's definitely not happening. Yeah, I think with dating nowadays, I'm off the radar. And with men, they message me. Like a couple of my exes messaged me. And someone that I met.
The drama.
Someone that I met 3 years ago at a festival for like 5 minutes. We exchanged numbers. I messaged him. He didn't reply. And then he texted me a week after the show come out saying, just going through my numbers and yours popped up. How are you doing? What are you up to nowadays?
Liar.
Shut up.
Don't lie.
Shut up. Do you know what I mean?
Have you gotten
Men-
any like
I hate him. I was just gonna say. I just wanted to say, for on the record, I hate him.
Yeah.
have you gotten any like really bad like pickup lines like, hey, you are too hot to handle? Was hard to say.
I get
sorry.
that on the daily. Yeah. And it's like,
sad. It's sad.
yeah. And I got published in the Sun newspaper the other day, and they their little catchphrase was "Chloe is too hot," with a huge picture of me in lingerie. And I'm like, oh, I love it.
Damn. I mean, it's different when it's like the newspaper saying it versus like some shady guy in your DMs.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. I mean, it
Yeah.
touched my heart differently.
Okay, well, we want to know a little bit of tea on the show. You know, you're all people. Sometimes we have our besties, sometimes we have our enemies. Like, was there anyone that you are comfortable telling us that you just like didn't really vibe with?
To be honest, everyone on the show got on so well. At the very beginning, there was no animosity in the air. And as the show got more into filming, and like we started building different connections of like different people and different relationships started forming, you kind of did see people's true colours. I didn't have a game plan when I went on the show. I was like, I'm being me because then I can't fuck up. And a couple of people were just like, they isolated themselves from everyone else. Like Harry and Francesca, when they kind of formed their relationship, it was like, we're here, we've found love, we're kind of just going to go off into the distance now. And I don't know, it was just really hard towards the end to say that all of us are best friends, because it kind of wasn't really like that. We were all like a family because we lived together. But towards the end, the people that I were closest with was Nicole, David, and Sharon and Rhonda.
Yeah. So when I was rewatching it last night, when Haley, who was, no offense, the biggest hater in the house for absolutely no reason, when she got evicted, I didn't know that anyone from that show like could even get evicted. They like sent her home in the middle of the night. Like, what was the were the producers just like, oh, you gotta go? Bye.
To be honest, I don't know what happened in terms of the producers and what they thought, but it was literally like we were sitting there. Oh, Hayley's gone. Shit, we can get evicted. We didn't know that could happen. But yeah,
I think they wrote that role in because of Hayley.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, yeah, she did come across as a bit of a hater, but I mean, she was a genuinely nice girl. I got on with her really well. There was a couple of times where we had chats, but she felt like she had to stick up for Francesca 24/7. Francesca loves playing the victim in every situation. We all loved everyone.
Ooh.
Every single one of us were really good friends at the beginning. And obviously when Francesca and Hayley shared that kiss, they kept it a secret for about a week. And on the show, you only see it's only like an episode gap until they tell us, or until we find out. But it was just really kind of unhumane of how they kind of done that, and they kind of blamed everyone else. And like when you're in that type of environment, it is an emotional roller coaster anyway. And when I watched the show back, it was hilarious. Like it was one of the best moments of the show. But to live there, and if you were to kind of go behind someone's back and kiss someone and then blame everyone else and cause loads of arguments and tension in the house, you've got to expect some sort of backlash. That we're not going to trust you if you're going to do that, and we're not going to want to be your best friend if you do that. None of us were nasty to him. But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay, you first, because I also have a question.
Okay. Was there anything that you watched back, like in people's, like when Hayley would talk to the camera and be like, I hate everyone, or like when you would see that Harry was lying to everyone about Francesca kissing him, like what was the biggest shocking thing that you saw someone say kind of behind your backs?
To be honest, it was the Harry moment. When I knew he was lying, when I watched it, I was like, oh, you cheeky little devil. Why would you do that?
Because you like fully believed him too.
Yeah, I mean, none of us really. A lot of things happened in that villa that was not shown. A lot of arguments, a lot of tears, and a lot of bitchiness went on that wasn't shown. So when we all had our reaction towards Francesca, it wasn't, oh, well, obviously Harry's the one that's telling the truth, Francesca's a liar because of the kiss, and we just chose not to believe her. Because of everything else that had happened that had led up to that point, we were like, well, Harry's our friend, and because of everything that's happened with Harry and Francesca, we're kind of just going to take Harry's side, because why would we kind of take hers if she's kind of done us dirty in the past? But when I watched that back, I was like, wow, okay, that's not fair, Harry. You shouldn't have done that. Because he kind of played on it, and he kind of got us all to just, we were like, yeah, it wasn't cool.
Yeah, you fully lied.
Yeah.
What are the other moments that they didn't show? The bitchiness and the tears and the what were you saying?
To be honest, I think it was just more Harry and Francesca were like all loved up, and then they'd have an argument, and then Harry would like walk off and storm off and then go sit with someone else, and then Francesca would go talk to someone else, and then they'd kind of come back together and rekindle, and then Harry would argue with someone over Francesca, and then Francesca would, it was just day to day, because that happened all the time.
Yeah.
That would just get on everyone's nerves. And towards the end, it was like, you've split up and got back together that many bloody times. I'm over it.
Much like their relationship to this day, some would say.
Yeah.
So obviously this is a dating show, and no hate, only love. But you're one of the people who did win, but didn't end up actually in a relationship. So but you're doing amazingly well. You're the fan favorite. And also all of the other relationships have failed, I believe. So like, what do you make of that? Like, do you feel like ending up single was the best thing for you, or do you wish that you kind of had found someone?
100%. I mean, maybe if I'd stayed in a relationship, I would have had more followers. But why would I want to do that? I mean, I stayed true to myself. I didn't do anything for publicity, and I am really pleased that I am single, because the precious moment on the show was obviously when I stuck up for myself with Corey. And just knowing that I have that inner woman power to say, you cannot treat me like that. I am going to carry that everywhere I go, and I'm going to sprinkle it all over the world, because every single guy and girl need to kind of know their worth. And I'm glad that I ended up single, because I wouldn't have ever learnt that lesson otherwise.
Yeah. And also they didn't cast like any guys that are like good guys. They were all kind of douchebags, but likable. You could be a douchebag. It's also because at the beginning you had a crush on Harry, and aren't you so glad that you're not Francesca? Because having this like very turbulent relationship that they obviously had.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I am glad that see, this is the thing with everyone on Instagram. They think that me and Harry, I was jealous of their relationship. Me and Harry have literally been friends, like really good friends, since the show came out. When we were filming, we were constantly talking, like we were really good friends. Same as me and Francesca. So yeah, I mean, when people automatically think that, would it be different if you and Harry were together? It's like, no, probably not. I'm glad that I weren't really in that relationship. It was a bit toxic. I'd rather be single.
Okay, we did a little research, and you said that you are afraid of commitment, much like our friend Amy over here. I believe you said, quote, dating apps are kind of like a part-time job for me. And you have an emotional barrier up. So like, do you feel like, what's your advice to how to bring that barrier down? And tell Amy specifically, because she has walls up for days.
Well, it sounds like Chloe also has walls up for days. So my kind of woman.
I do. To be honest, I think those walls are there for a reason, girl. Do not ignore those walls.
Thank you.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
If you've got a couple of walls, yeah, keep them there. But if you're like blocked with walls and you physically can't get out and meet someone and have a laugh, knock them down yourself, because you will die a born-again virgin. I don't know my advice. I don't know what advice I would give. It would kind of just be, obviously, I was addicted to dating apps. I constantly wanted attention from guys, because I was kind of filling a void in my life and myself, because I constantly just wanted to feel loved off a guy. And I never did, because I would sleep with him and then he would think, oh, next. And then I would get chucked to the side. And so many guys have done that to me that I thought, you know what? Going on the show has kind of taught me, you don't need to sleep with guys for them to like you. You don't have to feel like you need to get with them in that way for them to fall for you. Let them take you out on a couple of dates. Take me to the zoo. Like, treat me, fall in love with me, and then I'll sleep with you.
Uh-huh. Okay, very born again. You know, I when I was in San Diego, I mean, maybe I have a fear of commitment, because I was seeing this guy, socially distant. It was very too hot to handle. And then I literally fled the scene and moved across the country. But I feel like, yeah, dating in quarantine right now is very too hot to handle. So what would you tell people who are dating either, on the phone or from 6 feet apart? Like, I don't know, how do you get to reach that connection without actually, smashing?
Oh, to be honest,
Smashing.
without smashing. It is the same, isn't it? Really, I mean, not being able to meet someone, and I mean, you could always do it, but I don't know. No, it'd probably be best not to, because you probably might catch corona. That's not good advice. Do not listen to that. For me, it's FaceTimes. I love FaceTiming. If a guy is messaging me and I really want to get to know him, I'll FaceTime him out of the blue. Boom, here I am on your screen.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
if he answers, plus if he doesn't, then I just hate texting, because I text and text and text. And there's only certain things that you can kind of talk about on text. Whereas if you're FaceTiming each other, you're forced to talk to that person, and you're not leaving an hour for a reply. You're like on the phone talking, and then they feel that much more closer to you because you've just kind of spoke to them face to face.
So Jack and I have actually talked a lot about going on FaceTime dates, but we have not, because I feel like to try and get to know someone on FaceTime, that's so intimidating. Or am I just being a baby?
It's definitely intimidating, 100%. To be honest, to smash one of my barriers down, I tend to go on FaceTime without any makeup. Yeah, because I just think I cannot deal with finding someone who is really materialistic, that wants a Barbie doll. If you see me at my worst, then when we go out for a date and when you take me out for dinner, I will put a bit of lippy on for you.
How nice of you.
I also remember I was watching you on the Anthony Padilla show. And also we know that you know Shan Booty, who we know pretty well.
I love her.
And one of the things you talked about on Anthony's show was your checklist. And I know Shan also, that's one of her things, is having like your checklist of things you absolutely need and that you won't date someone if they go against them. So what's your whole checklist?
Wow. Do you know what? I think I'm still figuring that out myself.
Mm-hmm.
What I have on my checklist at the minute is they have to be patient. They have to be really polite and have manners. And I need to feel like they're being genuine. Because if they're just like chucking cheesy chat up lines at me, I'm just like, you're definitely here just for a shag. And I'm not up for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone who isn't afraid to kind of show me off to his friends once we've passed that stage of seeing each other. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, to be fair. And they have to be taller than me, and I'm 5'10".
Oh, so that's tall. I mean, like, that's tough. That's tough. How on dating apps, how do you even know who's 5'10" and above?
Sometimes it shows you on their profile.
You're just like 5'9", neck.
Yeah. Well, all depends on the abs. If his abs are nice, then I'll bypass the height.
So you can be 5'7", but you have to have like a 6-pack.
Or 4-pack. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Jack, should we get into some advice?
Yeah, let's do our advice questions.
Hello, Jack, Amy, and guest. I never thought I'd be sending in any emails anytime soon, but it was all fun and games listening to the podcast segment until my ex DM'd me. For some background, I used to date my ex. They put a name, but I will not read it. Until she began getting very distant from our relationship. She ghosted me for about a week, and our relationship had lasted half a year up until then. Damn, how do you ghost your girlfriend? Okay, we broke up because she ultimately said she wasn't ready. A year passed, and I had been dating. God, this is why I don't read the long ones. I'd been on the dating scene again, and I met my current girlfriend for half a year. Okay. She's so nice and gentle and patient with me. Every time I think we're going to have issues, they get solved. We even have amazing sex. Sometimes I just don't feel the spark though. Oh my God. And I read her name. We're going to have to bleep it. The one that tells you that you wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world. She's also been distant lately. Anyway, my ex DM'd me to make a sincere apology about her immaturity in the past. And she told me that she's getting mental health help. And I think that's great. We've been catching up for a few days. And now I can't stand how much I like her. She hasn't even seen anyone since we were together. The banter is fiery. Oh no. I feel like we're long lost friends. And I've never been more confused in my life. I don't know what to do. I am not sure how to talk to my girlfriend. It's been half a year with her. What should I say to my ex? Please help. LOL.
I'm so confused. I'm not even joking. How many different names were there in that email?
Just the two. There's the ex and the current girlfriend.
Can you break it down for me?
Mhm.
Okay, so she was dating this girl, and then the girl broke it off with her suddenly and said she wasn't ready.
Okay.
But then she started dating this new girl, but the spark isn't there with the new girl. And then her ex reached out to her, and now their connection is stronger than ever. So she doesn't know what to say to the ex or to her new girlfriend, or she doesn't know what to do.
Right, okay, I get it. Wow.
What do you think?
Definitely break up with your current girlfriend.
She's in a pickle.
I feel like.
Yeah, definitely a pickle.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. A part of me thinks, don't probably go for the fiery ex, because if they ghosted you, like, even if you broke up, I feel like that's kind of okay if it was like communicative. But if you were dating for 6 months and then they ghost you, I don't know about her.
Well, there's an option where she chooses neither of them also.
Yeah, 100%. That would
Pull a Chloe.
Yeah, that would be me. I would. So if you think, right, logically, if someone was the one, would they ghost you? No.
Mhm.
So
You're right.
don't get back with your ex, because you know where that's going to go, because you've already experienced it. You've got the memory. You've just forgotten it. You need to remind yourself that it's not going to work. And in terms of this new girl, she's obviously not the one if you're thinking about your ex. So move on.
All right.
Yeah.
Tough love from Chloe.
T. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go for the next one. So I am a raging gay, and I have dated guys. What? Okay, this person's gay and has dated guys. Anyway, had the revelation, I love vagina. Can't relate. Anyway, so I went on a first date recently, and I didn't really fancy her. She was all over me. So she was like, okay, she was all over me, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to get really pissed. Is that
Drunk?
What? Yeah. That he needs to get proper pissed, which means drink loads of alcohol.
Okay. So she got to get drunk. Anyway, we made friends with 2 other girls, and they sat at our table. At this point, I was so uninterested in the date, it seemed like I was with 3 friends. So a guy on the table next to me was chatting with me, all friendly, and I thought nothing of it because, I'm gay. So when I went to the toilet, he followed me, and I kissed him downstairs outside the toilet. On the first fucking date with a woman, I kissed a random man. Karma got me good because I was sick all over myself on the train home in front of a bunch of strangers. Please judge me. I know I'm a hoe.
Damn.
Holy
I
crap.
think we've all been there.
Wow, so true.
Have you ever, but really? Like you've been on a gay date and been like, gotta go straight or?
No, I mean,
Oh, that
the thing that I related to was you were with someone and then kind of lost interest and then got with someone else downstairs without anyone knowing. Like, I relate to that.
You're a baddie in the club.
Yeah, love it.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
no
Chloe,
advice.
do you want to read the
just keep
last one?
hoeing.
Yeah, I'm going to lift the laptop up. So, hi, I relate to Amy a lot in that I'm currently not interested in dating, but I just want to figure myself out and heal from trauma. But I feel like the world makes single people feel bad and we need to date to be happy. On one hand, I enjoy being alone, but I also feel the pressure to date, especially with age. I'm afraid I might end up dating someone just for the sake of it. Any tips to stop feeling this way? Love you both, by the way. That's cute.
I don't know. Jack makes me feel bad about it weekly. So.
Oh my God. Come on. You make me feel bad about being single.
I'm just kidding.
I think for me, a lot of like you take this time when you are single to get to know yourself. So the type of people who are consistently dating nonstop 24/7, I feel like don't really have as good of a relationship with themselves because they're trying to find meaning in someone else.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've learned about myself really recently. So I think it's honestly good that you don't want to, if you know that you don't want to date someone, that you aren't because you're not leading someone on, you're focusing on yourself. I mean, take it from us. We are not dating ever and we're fine.
I think it's really important to not feel pressurized into dating. I mean, there's nothing worse than going on a date with someone when you're not interested because you're like, ugh, like the other girl we just spoke about, she had to get pissed. And if I wasn't interested, I would definitely just get pissed. And just go with your gut instinct. If you're not ready to date, don't. Just call your family and friends. Make memories. Like, you don't have to go with guys. Go with your friends. Go to theme parks and go on holiday when there isn't a global pandemic, of course. Just find yourself. Just be happy within yourself. And, yeah, you'll find someone. Don't rush. That's what I tell myself anyway.
And like, what even is an age to... We're going to live until we're like, what, 80 maybe?
Well,
so it's like, all we have is time.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, I think important to note is that, some people are finding love young, but then they get divorced. And then they're of a large age and have to start from square zero. So, like, there is no age. It's all relative.
Yeah.
True that.
Like, my
Chloe,
mom...
thank you so... Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, my
What about your mom?
Married really young, got divorced, and then married my dad. And it was his first long-term relationship after she had already been divorced. So, like, age doesn't exist.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, go off. Chloe, thank you so much for joining us on Dating Straight today. You are so nice and fun.
Oh, thank you. That means so much. Well, I've absolutely loved talking to you and sharing.
Cool. Where can the people find you?
So they can find me on Instagram as Chloe Veitch Official and YouTube Chloe Veitch. And like I said, I have got 2 more new videos pending. They are being edited as we speak and they are really funny.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. I'm Amy Oddman.
I'm Jack Dodge, and this is Dating Straight.
See you next Tuesday.
We could be broken-hearted lovers.